Hello you amazing people, it is Riley LH here with another video, and we are back working on the Turbo Miata. Now, I love my internal wastegate setup because it's just simple and it works, but we're going to completely change that up and change to an external wastegate. Because very clearly the car does not look the same. Nor does it look the same under the hood, so we might as well do a external wastegate setup and have the dump tube come out the hood. Because the hood also doesn't look the same. It's the good old car guy rabbit hole of, whilst I'm here, I might as well do it type of situation. So we have this cheap external wastegate setup from Max Pinu Rods. Now, no, this isn't a sponsorship. Zayden, aka That Miata, blew up his Miata and was going to run it on his, but he kind of can't do that because he chucked a rod and he's not planning on going on turbo anytime soon. So he gave it to me, so we're going to be running on the Miata and test how well a cheap wastegate works. Pretty much how an external wastegate setup works is it relieves pressure from the turbo. So you have all this gas coming really fast out of your turbo manifold that goes into your turbo to spool it. Now you don't want to spool it too much and go and build too much boost to a point where you blow up your motor. So you need to be able to divert that exhaust flow somewhere else. With an internal wastegate setup, it's built into the turbo and it's a little flap that will open and it'll go into the downpipe. With an external wastegate setup, we can reroute it into the downpipe, but what we're going to do instead is have it come out of the hood. And it's going to sit on the turbo manifold here, well, on the underside, and then we'll go and weld that all up and it'll have a pipe that comes off so it can relieve the pressure from the turbo manifold to stop spooling the turbo. But because we're not running the internal wastegate setup anymore, we're going to cut off the wastegate and weld the wastegate flange closed on the turbo, because we simply don't need it anymore. But first we have to get everything off the hot side off. And now that we have our turbo manifold out, we're going to take our V-band, we're going to cut a hole, slap this on right here, and then make little side plates so we don't have to weld as much. Okay, so we marked where we want our V-band and we wanted it right about there, so we're going to take a bit, which is the same size, and drill it out. Okay, so we got our hole and we got it all cleaned up. Now we're going to take our flange. Now this is stainless steel and this is some type of, I think, mild steel. So it's not going to weld exactly perfectly, but we'll be able to get it good enough. Just with enough heat and stuff, you can merge two different steel alloys and be fine. And it's not like this is bearing a lot of weight or anything. Now yes, it is going to get a lot of heat cycles, but worst case scenario, it cracks and we weld it again. But it should be alright. Alright, so we got it all tacked on and level. Now we have these gaps in here, which we're going to try to go and make little metal plates out of cardboard, and then we'll actually make them out of metal, and then bend them to fit these areas. Because we want to try to eliminate as much of just filling it up with a crap ton of weld as possible. So we're going to cut out some cardboard, and then bend it in there to try to get our shape. From there we're simply just going to cut out what we want, just like that. Now we have this side made, so we're going to cut these out of some metal. Okay, so we got our templates on our metal and we're just going to hit it with a light dusting of spray paint. That'll mark how we want them. Now just let that dry for a minute and then we'll take off our templates and start cutting them out. And now we can cut it out. So now that we have them cut out, what we're gonna do is just lay them on and slowly bend them to match the actual manifold. That is one completely made. Now we just do the other one. Okay, so we got this other one done and that fits up great. So we're gonna get it all lined up and tacked up. So now it's actually time to weld our dump tube, and I learned my lesson last time and warped the crap out of the V-band by welding it without it actually clamped. So this time we went ahead and clamped the V-band down, and we're gonna tack it all up and weld it out. And just like that, the Miata external wastegate setup is done. Now, it has been a few months that I've had it on the car, and it's worked great, and quite honestly, it is one of my favorite parts about this car. It sounds amazing, it looks really dope, and shooting flames out the hood is probably my favorite thing ever. Since I do have it on the underside of the cylinder number 3 runner, it does have a little bit of boost creep because it's not the best wastegate priority. But it's good enough, especially for a lower-ish power setup like this. I get 1 to 2 pounds of boost creep, and that's really it. But otherwise, it's worked great, and I've been very, very happy with it. Now, one thing is with having your external gate out the hood is when it does rain, you do have to cover it, otherwise you'll lock up your wastegate. But if you guys learned anything from this video, or just purely enjoyed it, like, comment, subscribe, check out my other social medias. It'd mean the absolute world to me, and I hope you guys have a great day. See you guys all next time. Peace out.